Welcome, everyone. This is, as always, the Miracle Mind Meetup, where we meet every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time online. And, the doors are open to whoever feels the spark, the nudge to join and come into community and speak about the principles and teachings of A Course in Miracles that have so much depth and richness for us to apply in our lives and to walk together with other mighty companions, as the Course states, is very powerful. And so in the end, we're here to light up each other's mind, remember who we are, and come back into alignment, you know, from from that place of like where, we can get lost. We can forget again and again. And coming and committing to a place like this, and committing it's an internal commitment, um, is here for you. And so if you feel that nudge, this place is open for you. And you can get more information on spiritledsteph.com or awakenpedia.com, which is the platform that hosts this space. And you can reach me at any of my socials, spiritledsteph.com. So thank you so much. And we can get started into today's, reading. And what's showing up here. I felt we could do a different approach to how we are. This is just coming up now, but to like how we read and talk. So today I thought we could look at, it's interesting because, hold on, I have a couple thoughts. It's interesting because I was, reading the course and there's so many beautiful parts and important parts and then I'm like, Jesus, show me, what it is to be spoken about today. And I read some things and I was like, oh, this is beautiful, this and this. Oh, this really feels. And then when I let go of all of that and I came to my computer and I remember seeing a video. I was watching a video of David Hoffmeister and Francis Zhu a couple days back. And they're from the Living Miracles community. And, David's been a big teacher on my path and just older brother. And I know Ash can connect with that. And so after watching that video, I pulled up one of the lessons they were talking about, which was very deep. And I had meant to go deeper into it. And so when I came to do the Zoom thing, that lesson showed up on my tab, like the other tab, it pulled up first. And my body just said, yes, this is what we're going to talk about today. So I haven't gone deep into the lesson. I do remember what they were talking about, but I thought we could do it together. And the new approach would be if each one of us could read a paragraph, like down the line, and then we can, if we feel to stop, we stop and talk about it, or we continue reading, and then at the end, we can bring up whatever comes up for us. How does that sound? Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to share it. The lesson, it's a lesson that was given was this. Lesson 186. Salvation of the world depends on me. Salvation of the world depends on me.
That's intense. No pressure or anything, you know? But yeah.
Yeah, it can
I,
sound like a
I
lot of pressure and responsibility. Go ahead, Andrea.
know that like if you think of it like in worldly terms, it sounds like that. But obviously if you allow it to like sink in and to like really speak to your spirit, you know that it's like our nature, you know, that it's like what we're all meant to do, and that's like our if we let go of all the conditioning and if we let go of getting in our own way, like that is what's gonna happen, right? So yeah, there's like it's like a coin with two sides, I guess.
Yeah, and I would add to that that like salvation of the world depends on me would be is a big statement, let's say, in the eyes of other dogmas, religions, specifically Christianity. And, the Course in Miracles is based on, it uses, let's say not based on, but it uses Christian language, you know, to approach and also to retranslate so much of the misunderstanding that has come from these terms. And so to say salvation of the world depends on me is like, but that's why this is such a powerful, powerful lesson. And I thought we could read it together. And maybe we can go down the line, like Andrea, if you don't mind going first, and then Mike. I mean, this is how I see you on the screen. I don't know if the order is the same for you guys, but we could do Andrea, Mike, um, Sulma, Ashley, and then Isabel. And I mean, I don't even know if that's how many. Oh yeah, we have a couple. Good. So we can go through it and see what comes up. Beautiful.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So salvation of the world depends on me. Here's a statement that will one day take all arrogance away from every mind. Here's the thought of true humility, which holds no function as your own, but that which has been given you. It offers your acceptance of a part assigned to you without insisting on another role. It does not judge your proper role. It but acknowledges the will of God is done on earth as well as heaven. It unites all wills on earth in heaven's plan to save the world, restoring it to heaven's peace. Okay. It offers your acceptance of a part assigned to you without insisting on another role. It does not judge your proper role. What does it mean by it does not judge your proper role if it's already assigned to you? Like
Mhm.
they assign a role, like we all have a certain role, correct?
Play.
To accomplish or to do. So like are they talking about they wouldn't judge that role or they wouldn't judge if we decide on another role? That's where I don't know. It offers your acceptance.
So remember when we first started reading just the title, Salvation of the World Depends on Me.
Mhm.
Immediately, the mind, especially the world, the egoic mind, right? The sleeping mind, the mind of patterns and paradigms and judgment comes in and says, whoa, that's a lot. Like, salvation of the world depends on me. Or where I took us to, like, what do you mean? Salvation of the world depends on, for example, accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and
Mhm.
Savior. That
Mhm.
is so immediately judgment will come in as to what that means. And what he's saying in the very first paragraph is this statement offers your acceptance of a part assigned to you without insisting on another role. So this is your only part to play, right? And this statement does not judge your proper role. So it's not giving any sort of judgment on the idea that you are a very integral part of the salvation of the world, as if that is either bad or there's no opinion about it. And if anybody else feels to share anything that comes up from but you know, it's basically saying what the phrase itself is saying. It's leading you away from judging the role. It's actually humility, which is not what we feel when we read the role. Here is the thought of
That's what
true
you're
humility.
yeah.
it takes away all arrogance from the mind. You're like, hold on, it sounds arrogant. It depends on me. Like I'm the one, I'm the savior. And there is a lesson that says this. It doesn't stop there. The thing is that the course doesn't stop on those ideas. It's taking you to a more expansive idea of who you are and what that actually means. But yeah, it does not judge your proper role, which is the role that has been given you. Salvation of the world depends on me. Does that make
Yeah, it
sense?
yeah,
Go ahead, Mike.
it talks about arrogance as thinking that I decide what my proper role is. Humility is this has been given to me. It's not for me to decide. This is my proper role.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think the last statement, it unites all wills on earth in heaven's plan to save the world, restoring it to heaven's peace. For me, it's the reminder, like you said, Steph, immediately the ego wants to come in and be like, I have a role. I have a very important role in this plan. But to me, that last sentence reminds us that there is only one role here because there's only one mind here.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get into the comparison of what's my role versus your role versus this, I think that last sentence just says it beautifully. It unites all wills, right? Which to me, I correlate more with like the ego belief, the will, right, to follow this role into what it truly is, which is only one mind. So there is only one role here. That is why the statement says salvation of the world depends on me, because there is only one me here. Right? Andrea, Steph, Ashley, Mike, Zuma, Isabel, we're all projections of the one it's talking to, the one it's trying to reach through all of our stories that Ashley has put in the way. Ashley is the dam. The river is always flowing. This is speaking to the river, the one that is in the raft, remembering that the dam is Ashley and you are not Ashley. You are the river. You are the flow. You are the raft. You are everything. So to me, that's how, like for me, because otherwise, yeah, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna save the world. I'm gonna save everyone, right? That's Ashley. That's Ashley.
I love that you brought that up, Ash, because that's literally the other side of the coin. Either I'm super scared to be the savior of the world, like, whoa, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know. Right. And it's still the personality that somehow has this like responsibility in this big role. And then there's the other side is like, oh, I got this. Okay. This is this, I am the savior of the world. And it depends on me in that way. And that's still, it's still within when what this is really taking us to, and I love that you took us there, is just like, let's all remember that all of this salvation of the world depends on me, what that me is, because it's so easy to quickly go to the me of the personality, right? And the course is taking us to the me that is like the light of truth, the me that we all are, the me that's shining through every mind, which is only one, seemingly separate and divided. So, yes, so powerful, beautiful. All right, Mike, do you want to keep reading? You could.
Sure.
Beautiful.
Paragraph 2. Let us not fight our function. We did not establish it. It is not our idea. The means are given us by which it will be perfectly accomplished. All that we are asked to do is to accept our part in genuine humility and not deny with self-deceiving arrogance that we are worthy. What is given us to do, we have the strength to do. Our minds, excuse me, our minds are suited perfectly to take the part assigned to us by one who knows us well. It denies arrogance. It defines arrogance as saying, "Oh, but I'm not capable of that."
The other side. That's right.
Poor old me. How can I do that? And it defines that as arrogance. Arrogance is thinking that we can be something different from what we are.
Right. Which goes back to what we were saying before, right? Like that personality, that persona that has been built over time within this dream and this world is the only one who can, you know, either, yeah, who can say like, it can't be me, or to feel this quote unquote arrogance that it's saying, which is the opposite of, arrogance that we perceive in the world. Arrogance seems like no. But this self-deceiving arrogance that you are not worthy, when it's like, no, you are worthy because you are everything. You are the one mind. You are everything. You are the light of truth. And that is why it depends on you recognizing your true self. Yeah. Suma, are you good to read the next paragraph? I know you might be walking or.
I am walking. I am cannot. Thank you.
Okay, okay. No, yeah, that's all right. All right, so I'll move it
Oh,
to
well,
Ash.
actually, I can. Wait a minute. Maybe I can, but I can
Okay,
stretch this. Paragraph 3.
theory 3, yes. Mhm.
Today's idea may seem quite sobering until you see its meaning. All it says is that your father still remembers you and offers you the perfect trust he holds you, he holds in you, who are his son. Come on. Talk to the dog, sorry. It does not ask that you be different in any way from what you are. What could humility request but this? And what could arrogance deny but this? Today, we will not shrink from our assignment on the spacious grounds that modesty is outraged. It is pride that would deny the call for God Himself.
You. Yeah, does anybody feel to say anything here?
As you said earlier, we forget, we forget, we forget, and we try to be something that we're not, and then we get upset. Usually with the person that we're pretending for, or we think we're getting upset with them, but we get upset because we think so little of ourselves because we forget that our what you know what how our worth is actually established. We forget,
Mm.
and as we come to I love this humility. Remember who you are, and just be who you are, and that is that which is created in the image and likeness of God. I'm complete.
Yeah. This entire lesson is really, you know, redefining humility and arrogance for us. Like it gives a complete new take, and that's what the course does, right? It's with so many aspects and so many words and terms that we have been that we've had programmed into us to look a certain way from the ego's perspective, right? Um, and now Jesus is saying, no, 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 no. This, let me show you what true arrogance is, and let me show you what true humility is.
Mhm.
True humility is following your role. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, arrogance is thinking that we have made ourselves, that we are our creator. Oh, I had this problem when I was a kid, but I overcame it and I became very spiritual, and this is who I am. And that's what the Course defines as arrogance. To think that the story that I made up is who I am. I am my creator. I could have gone this way, but I went this way, and I became so spiritual, and arrogance is to think that that story is who I am. I've made my, I created myself different from what I was created.
Right. Yeah, and there's ultimately that leads us to back to what Ash was saying, we believe we're these individuals, these stories, this compilation of past stories that make us who we are. And the course is taking us, like you're saying, Mike, and even, beyond, to truly get an experience of what it is to access that oneness that we truly are, that one mind, right? In God,
Mhm.
that thought in God's mind that's truly just
Mhm.
one with Him. Um, and yeah, peeling away at the layers of what we think we are. And it can get tricky in some parts of the course to understand, the mind will take us to places where we think it's us that is doing, or that it's referring to us as individuals, which in many ways it reaches us there. But it's all with the effort and with the purpose of taking us to the one, right? To the one mind, that we are all seemingly fractured, parts of that one mind, one. So it's always taking us back to that. Like, of course, it would be arrogant to think that this little self could do all the things and know all the things that your true self knows and does and can be and is, right? Not can be, is. It would be arrogant to believe that this little, sort of um, piece on the board um, is capable of knowing what is good or what is needed, when you're the expansiveness of everything around it. You're not the little, piece on the board on a chessboard. But we get caught up being that piece. So yeah, let's keep reading. Ash, you get to read 4.
Yeah. All false humility we lay aside today, that we may listen to God's voice reveal to us what He would have us do. We do not doubt our adequacy for the function He will offer us. We will be certain that He knows our strengths, our wisdom, and our holiness. And if He deems us worthy, so we are. It is but arrogance that judges otherwise. Mm. And it says it all right there. It's like anytime we think that we know what's best, that we have a plan, that we can learn from our past to change the future, that is the arrogance. The true humility is truly being the child of God. I mean, that's our journey here. Our journey here is to fully remember that you are a child of God, fully dependent for all things on Him. And at any given moment, if you feel shame or guilt or the ability to shift time and space to make your life better, you have just gave a big F you to God and said, I know best. You have no clue. I got this handled. Shut your face. I'm going to keep moving. And that is when we get ran over by a Mack truck and we come back and realize that, we decided to be the one of the 99 that was like, peace out, I'm gonna go figure this out on my own. And Jesus was always just waiting, like, oh, look at, there goes Ashley again. She likes this. But the whole time I'm screaming like, this is bullcrap, why, blah blah. But really it's because, like we said at the beginning, I went back into Ashley, who, yes, the persona of Ashley believes all of that and has witnessed it, right, to some extent, because we don't know how powerful the mind is. So I've witnessed the ability to manifest, right? Like, because we see the correlations, but being above the battlefield, is really seeing like, oh, there was never any correlations. That is like what came first, right? No, it just seemed to make sense in that moment. Just like, I mean, you're a mom, Steph. At one point, it was like babies should sleep on their side. Then it was they should sleep on their back, and now they should sleep on their belly, right? So, like today, it's this. I don't know what it is today because it's probably changed since the last time I checked. And but 5 years ago, it was something else. So, was it either? No, it was the persona making the decision instead of just following the guidance in the moment. Yeah, that's true humility and not being arrogant to God is and I think that paragraph really just reminds us that I would say a lot of times when you start the unwinding, the role, the what God knows of you that you don't know seems crazy. It seems like I can't do that. This isn't going to come through that way because we've everything is upside down and backwards. And this paragraph right here says, oh no, he knows. He knows. And like the statement, he only gives you what you can handle. Same, right? Like he knows what you are truly capable of. It is you who does not know what you are truly capable of. So I don't know. That's like my favorite. Like in Lighthouse, I'm always like, oh, we're just being arrogant to God. We must know best, huh?
I love it. And you can laugh at that. You get to a point where you're like, oh, there goes, here we go again. Um, and yeah, this lesson here is just taking us to, like we said, stepping away from arrogance and into true humility or truth, let's say, or your true power, which is I love it because it plays with these words, but basically accepting your role. And by accepting your role, it leads us to to the guidance of the Holy Spirit, because our role is stepping back, our role is, if the whole time it's telling us, right, this false humility, this arrogance is us knowing better, is us judging something as if we know what should be in the plan of whatever, right? Whose role is what, as if we know better. And I love, Ash, that you said, and when I use the past to define what I want for the future, because my past experiences is gonna, and that is another act of just repeating the ego story and arrogance, and so it's like, I don't know, giving this present moment a pristine option, like a pristine what is it that I'm trying to say, like openness, like not having any judgment upon this moment and not allowing my past experiences of anything similar to this moment that I'm facing now to step in and take over, right? Like, oh, I need to do this because I learned from this in the past. I've been here before, so I know what to do, right? I don't know. I'm not going to let my heart be broken, or I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to trust this person because last time I did, I would. That story, we're bringing it into the present and just, remolding the future past, which is literally the future past, right? Where we're bringing it in forward. And so I love that you said that specifically, because that is a huge part of how we miss the holy instant, because we are in arrogance. And then as we are in arrogance, we block guidance, because guidance is there to show us, you step back from my role, step back from Steph, and Holy Spirit, you come through, you show, you speak, or you stay silent, whatever it is that is needed in that moment. And I want to share this story that there's this, there's a lot of people that I follow on YouTube, actually, just not because I'm watching their stuff, but because it's a practice for me to just subscribe to others' stories and welcome whatever their journey is on, and whatever, like, it's just a way of loving others. And so I use it as a practice. And there's this one lady who, she doesn't speak so much of the Holy Spirit. She uses the I am presence as the word, right? And she was saying a story, and I think this is a perfect example of this, like stepping out of the past, releasing the past in the present. And she was saying the story of how she was walking home at night, and she could feel that a car was pulling up, and that there was loud music, and that there were guys in the car, maybe young guys in the car. And she didn't go into detail, but she's had various experiences, maybe in college or something like that in the past, that would give her reason to be very afraid in that moment, right? But she's been on her path of, really stepping into guidance and really coming to know who she is truly. And in that moment, the car pulls up close to her so she can feel that the music's getting louder and that the car is slowing down. And she took a breath and she said, had I decided to be, I don't remember her name, let's say, Missy. Had I decided to be Missy in that moment when the guys pulled up, I the night would have turned very differently. But I knew in the moment when they were pulling up, I went into what we would call like a prayer, right? Like just, okay. And she took a breath and she took a step back from herself, right? From Missy, and allowed what she called the I am presence to just take over that moment, right? And therefore not judge the moment and allow it to be. And the guys rolled down the window, and I don't know, they screamed something, that they wanted her to do, and she stopped in her tracks. She took that breath. And as she took that breath, she looked over at them straight in the eye, something she would have done. She would not have done. She's like, this is how I know, because I would have kept my head down or would have walked really fast away. These would have been the options. But instead, she took that breath and she turned her entire body towards the car and looked directly at the kid who was in the front without having to say. She didn't know if she was going to say anything. She just did what felt right. And in that moment, her posture, she said, they freaked out and they looked at her and they rolled up the window and then they blasted off. And she could tell that they were smoking or, drinking because of the smell that was in the car. But she didn't need to say anything. She literally just stepped over, or maybe she said, like, can I help you? It was very straight and simple. I don't remember the details, but what I want to get to is that in that moment, she made a choice to either allow the past experience she had with similar situations, be the one in charge, or to step back and allow that to be. And whatever the result of the situation is whatever it was to be, right? But her experience of the situation was completely different because of that choice to step back. And I thought that was also a very, I mean, she gave another situation in a store that kids were stealing, and and it was just like different moments where you have the choice to either be the personality, the savior, the thing, the one that fixes, or the one that pretends and hides, whatever it is, depending on the story, or just allow, step back completely and allow what is being needed of you in that moment to come through.
I
Yeah,
love that share.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, she had her hand up for 1 second.
Oh, me?
Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. I was just before this call, actually during the call, I got a phone call, and one of the last things I said to the individual, we were talking about exactly that, because something, a situation that they were in, and how they would have reacted once upon a time versus how they would react now, and how his friends from, that have known him, most of his life, would have said that how he would have reacted and all that. There's a Thomas Troward wrote that principle is not bound by precedent, which means that now is not bound by the past. And I said, the last thing I said before I got off the phone, I said, well, today is October 1st, 2025, and it's the only October 1st, 2025 we've ever had. So we have choices today that have nothing to do with yesterday. Nothing, none of that. Today is a whole new day. Mary Morrissey called it a brand new baby day. Somebody else wrote that, last night, what is it? Yesterday ended at midnight. We always have that choice. I like the story that you just gave, Steph, but exactly that we always do have a choice, that we don't need to. If I based my todays on my yesterdays, man, first of all, I would hate everybody, starting with myself. I would hate everybody, everybody, because it was always poor me, and I was a victim of the world. I was absolutely the victim. It was always somebody else's fault. Somebody else was to blame. And today, the word responsible is my word. I'm responsible. Whether, however it turned out, what role did I play in it? I was responsible for that, and that only. And the Course reminds us that our mistakes are for correction and nothing more. And nothing more. I don't have to judge it. I don't have to blame anything. No fault. None of that. Today, October 1st, 2025. It's the only one I get. So I'm going to do my best to make the best of it. I'm complete.
Thank you, Zola. Ash, did you want to say something?
I was just gonna say, it's funny because Art and Persa bring this up in a book with Gary, because someone's invaded and they were reading the Course and they're like, I'm going to choose a different way. And like, instead of fleeing, they, tried to change the invader. And Art and Persa are like, well, reality is you still live in this world. So I think the beautiful thing of that story that you shared with her to garner is that she went into prayer and followed what the guidance was. The guidance literally could have been to run the other way. And I think the ego so quickly will make us believe, oh, our form needs to change for us to be in a trusting of the I am presence. When in fact, it's just the relinquishment of your stories and being open to whatever guidance you get, which it could mirror what your old story is. And so, yeah, I just want to bring that up because I think it's so beautiful, because that's what she did. Like she calls the I am presence. She went into prayer and allowed herself to be guided in that moment. And only through that could she have true connection. If she was just doing it because she's like, oh, I'm spiritual now, and this is my old story, so we're going to stick to it, and we're not going to do our old story because we are unwinding stories, that's just as counterproductive as living in the story, because it's just a new story of like, we're not going to live in our story. That's the new story.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that. And because, something that she said is that when she turned around and she said like, hi, or I think it was just one word or something like that. And when she did that, and they left, it was like, as soon as they left, it was almost like a click out, like it wasn't her, and she said it, and that's how she could really describe it, because had it been her, it would have been a completely different reaction. And I think that's I think guidance, and it's great that you mentioned that part, that like the guidance could have been to run. Yeah, sure, it could have been. But it was not to run for her, because her script had the opposite, right? So guidance is always at least taking us, and in many ways, that we still are here to follow it. But in my experience, guidance is always unwinding us from the beliefs we've already had, right? So like, if we've had a very conservative life, I don't know, even deprived life, let's say sexually, and things, we have a lot of judgments around sexuality and stuff. Things will be, we will be led to things that would allow us to, learn from people who maybe have been more open sexually, or so that we can sort of heal what our belief systems about that side of the coin. And that has been my experience. And I think that for her, she had backstories with men, right? That have affected her in some way. And this was a perfect scenario where that it was like a beautiful, what do you call it? It could have been a perfect trap to then really edify that story, that men are like this, and that she's a victim of that, right? And that was an opportunity to do that. And yet, by going into prayer, she released all of that possibility. And so for her script, that's what she felt was, most useful, most helpful. And for another person's script, it could be different. So I think that is always important to bring to light, because we can get caught up in the form. As students of the course, we do get caught up in the form because we still go with the egoic mind. But that's why guidance is so important, because it's really stepping back to what even to the idea that it might be this that's leading me to this. Like, it's always coming back to that. Oof, okay, you show me, yeah, every time, bigger and bigger humility. So yeah, I love that. Edgar, I see you have your hand up. Welcome.
Yes, yes. Hello. Yeah, I also felt to share, and let me step back and see what wants to be shared. I love what you said about opening up for other people's way of doing things as well, and even though they have a different terminology, it can be. For me, I met this shaman from the Yavanava tribe 2 weeks ago, where I was guided to a community, and it's funny because I've been really trying to avoid plant medicine. And then this guy, he was just so humble. He was so beautiful. And he said, always before he said anything, he said, I want to say thank you for the Creator for giving me the opportunity to be here. That was the first thing he said. And then he talked about the plant medicine and how they use it. They don't go to school in the jungle. They just have the plant medicine, and then they go around and have insights and do the school internally with the inner work. And there was just something so beautiful about the words he said and his presence. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. And I felt also, we had one ceremony with ayahuasca. I thought I was never going to drink again. And his presence just came into me. It was like I was one with him. And he had this presence of my little brother, very humble, very soft presence. And just to feel this love from another brother, this oneness, is still like such a deep experience for me, that even when I go to bed and I'm dreaming at night, I feel a deep rest and a safety and being held in his presence. And also his words, he said to me that he will come and visit us in our dreams and make sure that we have soft dreams. So, yeah, yoo-hoo! I'm just very grateful for that. Yeah, and things are just flowing in a beautiful way. Now I'm landing here in a forest house with my friend Alexander, and there are dogs around, and we are cutting woods and having fires at night. And I actually received the guidance from the plant that I should train to become a shaman myself. And as much as resistance I have, it seems that I'm walking the steps, and that the opportunities from spirit to, for example, be here with Alexander now and create retreats for men who can go through silence and healing, and then have a ceremony with a microdose of plant medicine on the Saturday. And every night are coming brothers here, and we sit around the fire and play guitar, and they have strong miracles in their minds. And yeah, it's wonderful that I'm somehow finding an outlet for my creativity and for my gifts. And yoo-hoo, yes, thank you. Yoo-hoo. And I'm also just so relieved because it has been very, yeah, challenging. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.
I love how you were, thank you for your share. And I think your expressions bring joy to all of us when you
You.
release that yoo-hoo. Yeah, we can feel it. It's literally we can feel it. So it's so beautiful. Um, and I want to also just mention that, you know, when things are, what's so beautiful about guidance, and which is where this lesson is leading us to, is that things unfold naturally for us. You know, sometimes we feel like we get guidance and then we have to go seeking for the things, and to a certain extent we do make steps, right? But they're the generally just the next most obvious step. And the script is written, right? The course is teaching us that the script is written. So, you know, trusting also that things will are becoming very evident as you move along and follow the heart, and you know, end up in the trees in the forest. And you know, the question of whether or not you should be a shaman or not is like, it shouldn't even be a question. Just continue to, you heard the you heard the call toward it, and now it's like just allowing every step to unfold, because it is written, and it'll be very clear, just becomes more and more clear. So sometimes I think we can get in our own way of like trying to figure it out, if it's, you know, when all it is just moment to moment, moment to moment.
Right.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah, the path definitely seems long and windy, and knowing that, the guidance also I felt to actually go to the Brazil a couple of months from now and do real training, because I realized that I'm a white fake shaman and I still have a lot to do if I really want to go for it. So I see a painful ride in front of me, but if I just take every day a step at a time, as you say, it's actually getting more and more fun. So yeah,
And freeing, right? Like we're not projecting an idea into the future about, it's just what's here now, and what's here now again. And that's all that we can truly work with.
yeah,
That's like what's here, what's in the mind, what's here, what's in the
uh,
mind. And one is so beautiful.
yeah. Thank you.
I
Yeah,
just want,
maybe.
Edgar, I love hearing about all your stuff. Like when you lived in that cave, I was like, that's the coolest freaking thing ever. And you're
It
just
was.
always,
Oh my God.
yeah, you're just always moving about. And I know you said it's been a struggle, but I mean, there was a period of time we didn't see you, but it's only a struggle through our perception. And now if you can look back, hindsight's 2020, right? You can see all the miracles and how it unfolded to get you to where you are today. So like what you're saying, Steph, I mean,
Uh,
when it becomes this grand role, like the lesson today we're looking at, so like a shaman, right? The ego sees that as a grand role, a grand gesture in the world, the illusion. And so I feel like we put so much more weight on like needing to be a part of that decision, but we do it all the time. So like even this call today, this morning, I said to Patrick, I was like, okay, I'm trying to decide, do I go to Steph's call or do I go see this woman Seuss downtown that I've been wanting to connect with? And I started to get into my head about it, right? To get into the persona of Ashley, of weighing the pros and cons. I'm like, whatever, just let it unfold. And look, it just unfolded like this. Like it wasn't a conscious decision, because it's not about making conscious decisions. That's consciousness, and you're not consciousness. That's still within the illusion. So I just wanted to bring that up, Edgar, because I feel like some of the most beautiful moments you have shared on here are the moments that you don't plan, like you're just like, oh, I was called for this, but maybe it won't be that tomorrow. And so I just invite you to, with this shaman journey, allow that same flow that you have in the past, even though it feels like this huge like calling, right? Not that it's less, but also not that it's more than anything else.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Take the weight off of it. Take the weight off of it. Because,
Yes,
yeah, let
for
it go.
for sure. Yeah, it's just about healing. It's just about healing, and whatever form it ends up with, I don't care. I can also do it in the city, give the healing in the city. I just want to heal people. I just want to bring music and bring joy. So there. Yeah.
Well, you are right now. I mean, Steph literally just said we can feel the joy when you express. So, like, need do nothing, Edgar. Like, you're doing it
Just
already.
be.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Andreita, you want to say something?
Yeah, sorry. I want to echo what Steph and Ashley said about it brings so much joy to see you so free and like like it doesn't matter, you know, like to make noises, to just let it come out. Like most people or a lot of people would be like, okay, whoa, like, that's weird, right? Like that's kind of out of context or out of place. And but it's so liberating because like to hear you like that, it's like everything is how it's supposed to be. Like everything is welcomed, you know, and it's beautiful when you just allow yourself to be, no matter how that comes through. And it's like liberating. It's like, oh, I can be weird too, right? I can be who I am. And it's really cool. So I appreciate that a lot. And on another side note, yeah, like I have like a lot of control issues. Like I'm a very controlling person, especially with my mind and my thoughts. I've been struggling a lot lately to just let things flow, just let like to become a channel, a vessel for you know for God's and the Holy Spirit's voice to just do what it will with me because I'm scared. Like I honestly feel, and I think Steph has known this like since we started connecting, like there is this big resistance and this fear where I'm like, you know, I I know that that's what I should do, and I know that's going to be freeing and liberating for me, but I'm terrified of just it being too much, not being enough, not being able to take it. That I'm going to go crazy. Like it's like this huge fear that I've had since I was a little girl. I'm going to go crazy if I just let things unwind and unfold. And then I'm like, maybe that's my part in society to go crazy. And I'm like, Andre, you're getting in your head. Like, chill out, take a step back. But I guess I'm sharing this because it's hard for me to receive guidance. Like I feel like I want to and I'm willing, but then I get in my own way and I'm like, okay, but how? Like what mantra do I have to tell myself? Like, should I go with the Course in Miracles? Should I do meditation? Should I, you know, like whatever, like so many different ways. And I'm like, Andre, o sea, como que you're you're doing the same thing that you've been doing before of like wanting to release control by controlling how you release the control, you know? And it's like, I just, I, like, I just feel like, I guess my question is like, or I don't know if you mean it's if it's a question or I'm like asking for like guidance from you guys to be like, how do I know? No, that's not even the question because I think you know when it's true guidance, I think you feel it, right? Like you know that it's the Holy Spirit and it's not you. Because I felt it before too. But I guess it's like, how do I just let go of fear and of control? And how do I just trust more? Like, because I know I have the willingness, but like my mind just needs to like catch up and be like, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm just like saying a lot of things, but yeah. Because the word guidance is huge and I love it. And I'm like, okay, but how do I get guided? Right? Again, the how do I get guided? What do I have to do to get guided? You know, like what are the steps? And it's like, oh, no, Andre, get out of your own way, get out of your head. Like that's what's making you crazy, you know, not the releasing, the needing to know how to release is what's making you crazy. So yeah, that's just where I'm at right
Mm.
what come to me, I think there are many pieces of this puzzle, of this answer, but one piece is to accept the chaos, to accept the strong wind that is blowing. And it inspired me so much when this Pache, this healer that I met from the tribe, he said that the wind is blowing so strong that it can blow the old leaves of the tree. So yeah, just surrender and accept. And then within that acceptance and surrender, there will be an answer, and also with the willingness to always like just do your best. Just ask spirit, what would you have me do now? And then trust that even if you don't hear an answer, that's also okay. And sometimes you will hear an answer, and sometimes you might also hear the body saying an answer, and then you try that, and okay, maybe it felt wrong, and then you learned a lesson there. So yeah, that would be my answer.
Thank you, Edgar. Yeah. I like that. Surrender and accept the chaos, like let the chaos come, whatever that might be. Like let the storm come. Don't resist it. And also like allow myself to make mistakes. Like if it's not, yeah, if I feel inclined to do one thing, okay, do it. And if it wasn't the way, like it's okay. Like I'm at least like not blocking myself or not getting stuck in my own ways, because it's like at least I'm releasing and being like, maybe I had to make that mistake for a reason to learn, right? Maybe I really did have to hit my head against the wall 1,000 times to like actually learn. So yeah, I guess, yeah. I'm gonna read what Ash says, but I'll mute my microphone. But thanks, Edgar. Yeah, thank you for
that. It's funny, Andrea. You're asking us how, and you also said, and it's hard for me to accept guidance. Estoy riendo.
I know.
So,
It sounds ridiculous. I
no,
know.
honest, no, it's not. It's not, because I can relate to that. Or you actually already are, because just the fact that this is going for, and you even answered the question, how do I know? And you said, oh well, it's how I feel. Yes, you answered the question. What we think comes from what we feel. What we feel comes from what we think. So when it's flowing, when you're flowing, when you're just being, it just feels right. And when you're not, like, oh, wait a minute, I've chosen that other decision maker. I've chosen that ego thought system. I've chosen a way that's not real. You actually already are. You actually already are. For me, I had to. Some years ago, I had to. I was taking a class, and I had to write my own obituary. And yeah, but try that. And and in it, I wrote that I was quirky. Quirky. That's the word that I used. And before I wrote that in the obituary, I thought that was a bad thing. I was different. I would be the one who I'm the one that studied A Course in Miracles. Everybody else was a fundamental Christian, or I'm the that kind of thing. I'm that different one. And am I really? I mean, does the oak tree tell the willow tree, you're quirky? you know. Um, so as I came to accept my quirkiness, as opposed to judging my quirkiness, suddenly quirkiness was fine. People approach me for my quirkiness. Zulma, would you change the words of this song for us, please? Zulma, would you come and da 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 da? Would you? The quirkiness became the thing that people were and always had been wanting about me, but I wasn't choosing to accept in myself. So for me, it starts with the word acceptance. I accept. This is how I am. And somebody, I think, actually wrote, there is no mistake. All things are lessons that life would have us learn. All things are lessons that life would have God life. All things are lessons that life would have us learn. Everything is for our learning. Everything is for our good. So I will not be the one to try to give you guidance. Because the guidance is coming from within. It's not. I can't fix that. Eso pati, and there's nothing to be fixed. It's just a matter of recognizing this is just who I am. And today I'm going, I'm having this moment and then I'm having this other moment. Oh, I like this moment. I can plan to have that. And it's a plan. There's a passage in the course that says to begin each day, planning how you want your day to be. How do I want to be? How do I want to be? And then it goes on to somewhere else that says that every response we make is determined by what we think we are. And what we want to be must determine every response we make. So it's like it's just you following you. And if today it's está bien, and if tomorrow it's está bien, any way it goes, it's okay. It's just okay. I have no guidance for you, but I can relate, and I love you.
Yeah, I agree. There, what you just did is what you need to keep doing. You brought it to the light, you shared, you expressed what's going on, because if you're sitting in there having your own committee meeting in your brain, that that's the judgment. Today I was listening to the course and it was the piece about the final judgment and how, we've seen as like the final judgment is death, but it's really the last time you judge is when true freedom is, when we are all saved from this. And not because you're going to die or you were judged final, but when you finally lay down the judgment. And that's all you're doing. So the ego just has you is using the course and all of this against you. And so another invitation is too, at any given moment, Patrick said this to me the other day when I was having my own little nervous breakdown, and I was like, freaking David's people are happy all the time and blah, because my expressions are very David says they're intense, and I'm like, why don't you just label it? It's like an exorcism. It's like a complete, like, what is this darkness coming out? And Pat's like, maybe it's time to step away from the course for a period of time. And at first I was like, no. And then I was like, okay, maybe. And then the next day I listened to it again. But I had to be okay with, okay, maybe it's time to step away, because it's actually now the ego is using things against you. And so, like what Edgar said, of just like, allow the storm, right? Because otherwise you're just judging it, and then you're stuck in this cycle of trying to stop something. And if you've ever tried to stop something that's on a fast track, you just actually give it more momentum to keep going. So I think what you just did is exactly what it is to share the crazies that are going on within, because we're all just crazy. And we all had to share them. Like, if you only saw my expression sessions, you'd be like, oh, mine aren't even close to
that. Something that comes to heart for me, Andre, with this, and so a couple things, but we're going to get to the next paragraph because I think the answer is in the next paragraph. And it's okay because Mike knows this. The answer is in the next paragraph. But before we get to that, I just want to quickly speak about outcome and judgment. Going back to what Ash is talking about, the thing is, we get caught up in an outcome and how things are supposed to look and how our healing is supposed to look and what the chaos is. So, like, that's why allowing the chaos truly means, going back to what Soma says, it's really like a deep acceptance to what's here, to what is here. Because when I have an outcome expectation of what things are, of what Andrea is supposed to look like with her healing and what the right way is, it's all disguised forms of judgment, of saying, I know better, going back to this lesson, right? Like, I know better, and therefore I'm not ready. and so it's, you have all these thoughts and all these things come up. Expressing up, like Ash said, is doing it, is putting them out there. And then I think it just leads us into a space of more trust, because we're no longer relying on an outcome. And like we had said in the, I don't know a couple meetups back, it's not about Andrea. It's not about Andrea. And we get so caught up, and it's because like, oh my God, I look like I'm going crazy. Andrea is now, not what I thought she was. And it's not about that. It is about the light that is pouring through you, can't, and it can't come and, light up your mind and your heart, when we're trying to analyze, and like Ash says, like ego steps in and tries to make everything. You can literally use anything like the Course in Miracles, you know, against literally the willingness to just allow the darkness to come up. But it doesn't stay there forever. I mean, how long, even when we're in like the most grieving moments of our lives and things are looking terrible, it comes to an end. There is a moment where it stops, where we're out of breath, where we're tired of crying, where it's just, because I think that's another egoic interpretation, that what happens is that we think we're just going to get there forever. It's just going to last forever. And I'm going to have no way out. And there's this fear, but it's what? It's thinking the outcome. You're literally saying this is going to be forever. And therefore I'm not stepping in because I'm going to be lost forever. And that is me saying, I know the outcome. I know. And it's an invitation. I don't know. I express what's here now. I don't know. I trust. I don't know. I have no desire for an outcome. And it's not about me. It's, I think that is a big part for all of us, thinking about us and our spiritual journey and who we're becoming in this, when it's just the light moving through, and the darkness needs to flush up so more light can come in. And, and then guidance is just a natural byproduct. It's not even something that we're seeking to get and listen to. It's just happening. It's just happening. Yeah. Yeah. And Suma says here, the ego analyzes and the Holy Spirit accepts. That's it. That's it. So, maybe Edgar, I think Edgar was next could read the next paragraph. I'm going to pull it up again so we can get to that, because I know that we're coming up on the hour.
Did you say that I should read the next part?
Yeah, if you're okay too. 5?
Yes. Number 5?
Yes.
Okay. There is one way and only one to be released from the imprisonment your plan to prove the false is true has brought to you. Accept the plan you did not make instead. Judge not your value to it. If God's voice assures you that salvation needs your part, and that the whole depends on you, be sure that it is so. The arrogant must cling to words, afraid to go beyond them, to experience which might affront their stance. Yet are the humble free to hear the voice which tells them what they are and what to do. Arrogance, I don't know, should I keep going?
Yeah, no, just 1 second. Yeah. This part is, it's just so, and this part was a lot what they were talking on this video, and specifically this phrase, there is one way and only one. Literally, Jesus is saying, there is one way and only one to be released from the imprisonment your plan to prove the false is true has brought to you. Accept the plan you did not make instead. And this is where, when we talk about guidance, accept the plan you did not make instead. And yeah, no, I just want to let that simmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's like I use that wing sometimes because, like, where you're at, Andrea, or like in my expressions or whatever, and it feels so counterproductive to what I want, right? My actions at the level of form. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it takes a bit to get there. But it's the moment to realize, like, oh, I feel so out of control because, in fact, I am not in control of this. The only thing I'm in control of is my perception of it. And right now I'm perceiving it as this isn't what it should look like. And I can shift that, the perception. And the moment you shift it, you see like, oh, that was necessary to let go of that. Oh, it was necessary, whatever it may be. So, like, that's what it reminds me of, that section of just like, that's your part. It's needed. And the only time you feel that an action that is occurring is bad or not what's supposed to happen is not because of the action. It's because of your lack of acceptance that there is only one way. Is because your belief that there's more than one way and you've chosen the wrong way or the bad way or the crazy way. Which is interesting. Crazy is a whole nother level because my dad literally was deemed crazy, like literally medically crazy, and committed suicide. And I had to like rewrite the story of crazy, and I didn't say it for like 2 years because I had to untie the stories that were tied to crazy. And now like crazy is like my favorite word. But anyway, that's beside the point. I just made a new story, which isn't good.
No, I love it. Thank you, Ash. I honestly have been struggling with that word my whole life. And I honestly like I want to rewrite my script on that. Like on changing my perspective, being like, accept your craziness. Like that can it's beautiful, that's like your outmost expression, whatever that means, because craziness can mean so many different things to everybody. And I feel like I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I was like, I accept my craziness. I allow the chaos, the craziness. I don't know. And I feel like, and I don't know, I like the part, I just wanted to say, the arrogant must cling to words, afraid to go beyond them to experience, which might affect their stand. And how I took it was me. Like, and this is like, I'm looking for the perfect word, I have to cling on to a word, and it's like, no, like there is no perfect word. There is no perfect thing because it's not a thing that you can cling to.
Practice.
It's literally, yeah, it's literally like you have to be the here. You have to become so humble to be like, I don't know, God. It's your words in me. It's not my words. I don't look for them. You give them to me once I allow it, right? And that when you guys read that, I was like, oh my God, like this is what I've been doing for like the longest time now, looking for the exact word and for the exact thing. And I also wanted to say another thing that, yeah, yet are the humble free to hear the voice which tells them what they are and what to do. Not that I look for it, right? And yeah, I also accept the plan you did not make instead. Judge not your balcony if God's ways assures you. Yeah, and I think that's where it comes, like, yeah, where I'm like, oh no, if this happens, if I let myself go into this darkness and into this craziness, like I will go crazy. And that's what Steph said, like, you do not know what's gonna happen. You have no idea. It's not up to you. It's not your doing. Like right now, I feel like I'm resisting the doing, which is gonna happen regardless. I'm just making myself suffer because it's gonna happen regardless if I resist it or not. Like it's gonna happen, right? Because it has to happen. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of little things are connecting and like, yeah, and like gems are coming. So guys, thank you. Like, yeah, thank you a lot. I appreciate it.
All right, maybe we can go ahead and close out and read the rest together. Edgar, if you feel to read the next one that you were going to read, please go ahead
Yes.
and we can.
Okay. Arrogance make an image of yourself that is not real. It is the image which quilts and retreats in terror, as the voice of God, as the voice for God assures you that you have the strength, the wisdom, and the holiness to go beyond all images. You are not weak, as is the image of yourself. You are not arrogant and helpless. Sin cannot tarnish the truth in you, and misery can come not near the holy home of God.
Beautiful one. And I love this part where it says, the voice of for God assures you that you have the strength and the wisdom and the holiness to go beyond all images, because it's talking about arrogance is you creating the image, right? You are not weak, as is the image of yourself,
Oh.
right? So
Uh,
Andrea or Steph or Ash or Edgar not being able to step into the chaos is Andrea, Steph, and Ash saying that they are too weak to go into it because it's the image that we have of who we are, of this persona that is not allowing us to go further because we're limiting it to our own identity as if our identity is the one that's receiving it, and not identity, sorry, this image, right? This and that's, we go back to the idea that it's not about us. It's not about Edgar. It's not about Steph and the things that I'm working up and getting. No, it is about it's about the allowance of that, of really like that divine connection, about that remembering of who I truly am, which slowly departs me from me getting caught up in the image of myself, which is the one that we've been building our entire lives, the image of who we are, you know, in the eyes of others, which ultimately is in our own eye. It's just the way we're perceiving ourselves. And it seems to be others, but others are just thoughts in the mind showing us what we perceive about ourselves. So yeah, it's taking us further and further. You are not ignorant and helpless. Okay, and helpless. Okay.
Real quick, this morning I was getting ready to come on. I thought, oh, I don't have any makeup on, and I came on anyway, because I thought, my first thought is, oh my God, my see my this and my that. What is this about? And then you come with this lesson today. It was wonderful because it's really not about the image. Until I mentioned no makeup, which among you thought, oh, Zoma didn't wear her makeup today? You know what I mean? It was. I love you, Ash. You're hilarious. But
She's looking. She's looking.
But this is what we. I love it. I love it. See, this is why I'm here. This is why I did with no makeup. It would have taken me longer if I'd had to take the, you know what I mean? But this is what it's really all about. Me judging me, thinking that it's you judging me. And Andrea, as you're talking about the craziness, I was diagnosed with ADHD last year. Now, I've known for years that I had something.
Oh wait, she got cut off.
You know, it's fun now. It's fun now, and I don't tell everybody. You know, most people know though. I've said it in public audiences. Literally, I've spoken. You know, but it is what it is, and it's not up to anyone out there to like it, not like it, accept it, not accept it. It's for me to accept it. Period. Soy quien soy. I am what I am, what I am. I am the I am, and God is expressing through me as me, and that's that. Without makeup, I'm complete.
Yeah, as a beautiful symbol. It's like looking at the idea of how we can look at makeup and how we use makeup to then look a certain way and feel a certain way about ourselves in front of others, and then deem that the others look at us and feel a certain way about us, when ultimately it's just showing how we feel about ourselves. And so that is a perfect symbol of how, at the ultimate sense, you know, whether it's makeup, it's also just the image of ourselves, right? Not the physical image, but just the image that we have in our own mind of who we are, of, you know, it's like it's taking us woof beyond that. But these are perfect examples of how the mind does exactly that. And so we release that. Okay, I think we can end on this 8, because I see that it's a lot longer than I recall it being, but that's okay. This has been perfect. This has been perfect. This is all that's been needed. So if anyone feels to do this last paragraph and to read it, let me know.
It's paragraph 8.
8.
Okay, perfect. Yes. Okay. And so we find our peace. We will accept the function God has given us. for all illusions rest upon the weird belief that we can make another for ourselves. Our self-made roles are shifting, and they seem to change from mourner to ecstatic bliss of love and loving. We can laugh or weep and greet the day with welcome or with tears. Our very being seems to change as we experience 1,000 shifts in mood, and our emotions raise us high indeed, or dash us to the ground in hopelessness.
Oh, continue. Sorry, one more.
Okay, yeah.
It's not closed.
Yeah. Is this the Son of God? Could he create such instability and call it Son? He who is changeless shares his attributes with his creation. All the images his Son appears to make have no effect on what he is. They blow across his mind like windswept leaves that form a patterning, an instant, break apart to group again, and scamper off. Or like mirages, I don't know, or like mirages seen, or like mirages seen above a desert rising from the dust.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. I love the he who is changeless, you know, it doesn't matter what images or identities we put in front of that. There's always that changeless self in us to come back to and to abide in, right? And once we are able to abide in that awareness and in that changelessness, everything starts to make sense. And I think that we still play a role, like Andrea plays a role in society, but we're no longer identified with it, right? It's just a role, like being a mother, being a daughter. It's just a role that we play.
And we don't, I feel it's leading us, and we don't judge the images anymore either, because we're still in the world of images. Things are still happening, right? The personality is still choosing things and preferences, but now there's no judgment upon what is happening. Rather, the image is doing what it's doing, and it's part of my experience, and it is through the image that I create more. I allow the darkness to come out. I allow more light to really guide my life. But I'm not entangled with the image anymore, right? Like the image is not the true essence of who I am. Rather, it's just part of the play, and I can witness it and laugh at it, like Ash was doing earlier, talking about different things. Because we have the tools, and we have each other, which we're lights of the same, we're the rays of light coming from the same light, you know? So beautiful. There's so much more to this lesson. I invite you and anybody who comes across this video to, if you can go deeper, you can go online and find it, or if you have the Course in Miracles, to just read it to the end. Just let that simmer and stay with you. So beautiful.
Thank you, Steph, so much. Yeah, this was
really Andrea, on number
awesome.
8, the first 2 sentences you read, I was like, oh, there she goes. There you go. There you go. Exactly what you asked us.
And so we find our peace. We will accept the function God has given us. For all illusions rest upon the weird belief that we could make another for ourselves.
That's your answer when you asked us.
Yeah.
There's your peace. There's your peace you're looking for.
100%. Yeah. I love it. I love all the coincidentials that come together, you know?
No coincidences in the script.
No coincidence. That's so true. That is so true. Yeah.
Divinely aligned.
I had a theology teacher that before in Catholic school, and she would say, there are no coincidences, only God incidences. She would always say that.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, it was funny because back then I had a lot of resistance, and I'm like, okay, man, right? When you're like a teenager and you're like, they're only God incidences. And now we're here reteaching.
Isn't it interesting?
Full circle.
The word coincidence actually means to coincide with.
With who?
The word coincidence. The word coincidence. It means to coincide. So it actually everything is a coincidence because everything coincides with everything else. But we don't treat the word that way. I love that words are just symbols of symbols.
They're just symbols, exactly. Yeah.
You know when they put OMG in the dictionary that we're all
say goodbye now.
Bye, Mike.
Okay. Sending you all
Bye
so much
bye.
love. Thank you. What a blessing.
Thank you.
Off you
Bye,
go. Ciao,
guys.
ciao. Much love. Ciao, ciao.
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 This was fun.
Ah.